Hey YouTube, Southwest252 here with another video, and this time I'll be doing a review and comparison of the Gemini Jets and NG models Southwest Airlines Boeing 737 MAX 8 in the Imua One special livery. But before I get into the video, I would just like to say I'd really appreciate it if you could check out my Instagram, and the link for that is in the description below. As always, we'll start off with the box, and just the Gemini box, since I've already done a review of the NG version that included the box as well. So I'll just do the Gemini box. You have the 25th anniversary Gemini Jets logo in the top left, made for collectors by collectors. There's the computer-generated image of this aircraft, Southwest Boeing 737 MAX 8. On the bottom of the box, you have 1/400 scale die-cast model, highly collectible, superior quality, realistic metal landing gear, detailed printed graphics, and as real as it gets features. On the left side, you have the addition of the item number, which is GJSWA2247. On the top of the box, you have adult collectible model, warning contains small parts, unsuitable for children under 14 years of age. And then the right side is the same as the left side. On the back of the box, you have the as real as it gets features that you can pause and read. And don't forget to check out the Gemini Jets social media. That's all for the box, and now we'll get to the models. So you have the Gemini Jets version on the left here, and the NG models version on the right. Now I do have to say, right at the start, these models are quite similar. Some of the time I can't even tell these two apart. They're pretty close. So I think that indicates right away that both of them have done a good job. There are some very slight differences between the two, which I will go over. So I'll actually pull the NG models one to the side for now. I'll focus on the Gemini Jets version, give you the full review of that, and then I'll kind of pull the NG models version in a minute. But you do have the nose cone painted on. It's kind of hard to tell in this lighting, but it is there. You have the cockpit windows, the Imua One titles at the front there. You have the fleet number, 8710, and ETOPS. Yes, this is an ETOPS aircraft, and it wouldn't make sense if it wasn't, because then it wouldn't be able to fly to Hawaii, so pretty important. You have the L1 door there with the heart logo next to it. You've got your nose gear underneath as well. All the gears are rubber and do roll. Actually, one thing that I'm noticing right now is there's a very slight, I guess, bump on this above the cockpit windows. If you've seen the Tennessee One review that I did, you'll know that Gemini did a horrible job with, especially on the nose section with the mold there. It looks like very slightly they've let that quality control slip here, but it is much better than that one. But as far as I can tell, the rest of it mostly looks good. You move down the aircraft, you have all of the artwork for this livery, all the different designs. I think Gemini's done a great job on the livery part. You have an antenna on top there, your overwing emergency escape doors, and markings on the wing. Then you've got your wing, the advanced technology AT winglet there. You've got your main gear down below, outside's painted red. You have your engines, you've got the kind of chevron pattern in the back. Then you have the inside view of the engines here. Then you move towards the back. You have a Wi-Fi dome on top there, and this does have a white outline around it. That is one thing that the NG model is lacking. It should have the white line around it, so Gemini has done better in that part. You've got another antenna at the back there. You've got the fleet number, very small, but you can tell 8710 and ETOPS written there kind of to the left of the door up here. And then you have right above the door, you have the registration, which for this model is November 8710 Mike. This is the first Southwest 737 MAX 8, or the first MAX 8 delivered to Southwest, I should say. And then you have the special heart livery tail design on the tail. Then you move to the right side. You have the cargo luggage doors there, kind of in the purple and pink area underneath in the front, and in the back in this yellow portion down here. So here is the front view of the Gemini Jets version. And you can see on the left side of the aircraft, so on the right side of the screen, that wing is very slightly elevated too much. That's a common issue across all of Gemini's molds, but it's not too bad here, but the left wing is noticeable. Here's the right side. There's the back view. Here's the left side. Here's the top view. And here's the bottom. So up by the nose cone, it does say Max 8. It's kind of hard to tell, won't focus all the way, but I think you can kind of see it there. Then you do have the nose gear. Again, all the gears are rubber and do roll. You have all of the nice belly details, the artwork there. You have the heart logo there as well. You have a stand hole in the middle. Then you have your main gear. Again, they're painted red on the outside, just standard gray on the inside. You have underneath the engines and wings as well. You have a Gemini Jets logo behind the gear. Again, more details as you go back. And then you have the tail scraper, the doors for the APU, and the APU itself all the way in the back. So here is the Gemini version on the left and the NG version on the right. So some differences, you can tell the blue on the front of the aircraft, it's very slightly lighter on the NG models version. I think this is a classic case with a bunch of different Southwest liveries. It's just going to depend on the lighting for the real aircraft. So both of these are kind of pretty much still accurate. So no points taken off there. But then you move towards as you go towards the middle a little bit, you can tell this kind of purple band is a little bit thinner on the NG version than on the Gemini version. So here it is even on the exact same side, just so it's a more fair comparison. So you've got a little bit more blue on the NG version and a little more purple on the Gemini version. I actually don't know which one's entirely accurate. That's not something I'd noticed before. So I'm going to have to look at that just to see which aircraft or which model is better in that respect. But then you move towards the midsection, both red and pretty much the same red as well. Then you have a little bit of orange on the back of the NG version. The Gemini Jets version, you don't really get that orange. It goes straight from red to yellow. And actually, I'm seeing on the box for the Gemini version, it does, on the CGI, it does actually have that orange as well, and it has a thinner purple line, so I'm thinking actually the Gemini version might actually be a little less accurate with the mixing of the paint there. But then in the back, you do have the yellow design as well. As far as the details, the black paint on it, I think both have done a fantastic job. However, I am noticing those differences with the Gemini version that I don't think is 100% accurate, and especially them missing out on the orange, blending it together there is kind of disappointing to see, actually. So I was going to give the Gemini One a very high rating. I might have to knock it down a point. I actually don't remember what I gave the NG model version, but I know I gave a very high score to that one. But for the things that I pointed out about the Gemini version, I'm going to have to drop it down. I was going to do a 28.5 out of 30, but now I'm going to have to give it a 27.5 out of 30 for the Gemini version. But that's going to be it for this review and comparison. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button down below and consider subscribing to my channel if you're new. And once again, I'd really appreciate it if you could check out my Instagram, and the link for that is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Bye.
We would like to point out the safety features of this Boeing 737-700 series aircraft. You're looking at the Southwest Airlines bestseller. It's a safety information card. It's in the seat pocket in front of you. It works as a fan for no extra charge. You're welcome. And it reads as a comic book. It has a lot of short stories. None of them ends well. Absolutely.